Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Parenting Through this coronavirus pandemic. I'm happy to be here with you and supporting you through this very challenging time. I think this is recording number 6, but I'm losing track of the days and I'm losing track of how many I have done. I guess that's just how it goes today or during this time of life, right? So today is my daughter's 15th birthday, and it's a kind of a strange time to have a birthday when you're stuck at home. And oh, before I continue, I can't hear you, only you can hear me because this is set up as a webinar. So the way you can interact with me to answer things or ask questions or whatever is to just type in the chat like you're doing, and no, I can't see you. You can only see me. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It's okay that you haven't done it. This is new for many people, and I appreciate you tuning in. I think it's awesome, and this is how it is. So when I do these recordings as webinars, you can see me and you can hear me, but I can't see or hear you. I set it up this way because I didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable tuning in because they might be in their PJs or their hair's up in a bun or their kids are running around in the background or what have you. So I just wanted to make it as easy as possible for parents to tune in. So I'd love to know where you're tuning in from and what the ages of your kids are so that I can help you with wherever you are in life at this point in time. Manchester, UK. Oh, things are getting tricky over there in the UK, aren't they? I've been keeping up with the developments of what's happening around the globe, and I know that tighter restrictions have been put into place over the last few days for you guys. Unfortunate but necessary, I'm sure. Well, as we probably all agree. And your daughter is age 8 and autistic and off of school. That's a real challenge, isn't it? I was just doing an interview. Oh, you're a key worker, but you're off sick after a major surgery. Sounds like you're having a really challenging time, and I'm really, my heart goes out to you. I can imagine how hard this is. This is a really tough time, and you're stuck inside, so it's not like you can get outside support right now, and your daughter's stuck inside, and oh my goodness gracious, these are some challenging times we're living in. I was just interviewing on my podcast. I don't know if you listen to podcasts, but I have a podcast called Powerful Parenting for Today's Kids. And we have an upcoming conference that was supposed to be live in Philadelphia in the United States on April 25th. But after all of these latest developments, we decided to make it digital and we decided to make it free. So if you want to tune into that and sign up for that, you can do so at www.revolutionizingparenthood.com. And you can register for free to tune into that. That will be live on April 25th. But anyway, in preparation for that, I've been interviewing all of my dear friends and colleagues on my podcast. And I was just interviewing my good friend Juliet Marciano, who is a parent coach like me, but she specializes in working with parents whose kids have special or extra needs. And we were just talking about the challenges of parents just like you, uh, who have kids who need structure and have special needs, and maybe they had outside therapies like speech therapy or occupational therapy, and now parents are home having to maybe try to work if they work at home with kids who need structure and need all these other things. It's a real challenge. And the big thing that we came up with, well, the big takeaway is just to be patient and gentle with yourself. And when your child is having a big reaction that is inappropriate or challenging or stressful, just try to see what the need is underneath of that behavior. That's what I teach parents all the time, but I think it's even more important during this challenging time, and it's even more important when your child may have a hard time expressing their needs. And so, when she has a big behavior, just see if there's a way where you can get under the surface of that behavior and see what it is she might need. More structure, food, more movement, less movement, quiet time, stimulation, whatever, music, whatever, who knows what she needs. But if you can become the detective in those situations and see if you can figure it out, it'll help you to help her navigate this challenging time. And that's really good information for parents, any parents, because all kids are having a hard time right now. And parents are having a hard time. So if we can try to understand what's going on under the surface of that behavior, we're going to be in a much better state to be able to help figure out how to help them navigate it. And yes, my kids are all home. I live in New Jersey in the United States, and we are under basically lockdown, even though they don't call it that. We're only supposed to go out only essential workers go out. You only go out if you need groceries or gas or what have you. Otherwise, they want you inside at home. And so that's how we are too. And I think most of the most of the kids around the world are home schooling right now. My middle schooler, my 7th grader, he has online Zoom classes each day, just like we're doing here. And my 2 high schoolers, 9th grade and 12th grade, they just have assignments posted in their Google Classroom and some pre-recorded videos, but they don't have to show up live anywhere each day. Oh, okay, so Miss Turnant, you say autistic kids need more time to process what's going on. Yes, and struggle with inferring moods from the overall overwhelming situation. I find distraction and humor work with potential meltdowns. Yes, humor is a beautiful tool to use. We have some resilience, I think, as compared with kids without additional needs, as we're reasonably already used to a degree of social isolation and coping with this. Especially me being a lone parent too. Yes, it's so hard, but you bring up a great point. Parents of kids with special or extra needs are resilient. You guys are resilient. You've been living these challenges every day before this pandemic occurred. I was just talking about that when I interviewed one of my other colleagues who will be a speaker at the conference. She specializes in helping parents who are raising kids with food allergies. And we were saying the same things. Parents whose kids have food allergies have already lived this challenge their children's whole lives. So having to be careful with what they eat and plan ahead and make sure you're stocked up, they've already lived that way always. They've been figuring it out. So this challenging time, they're already strong and tough and resilient. And I think you guys with kids who have kids who have special or extra needs, you guys are a tough bunch of people, tough bunch of parents. You got this. That's what my message is to you. And you did hospital isolation prior to school closure. Oh, it's very true. I've only just realized that as everyone is going on about stuff we do already, have to negotiate sparsity of play dates. Yes. Oh, bravo. Yes, yes, yes. If you can walk away from this webinar today feeling a little bit empowered to keep going each day because you've already succeeded in life raising your daughter, I think that's the best gift I can offer to you. Yes, times are hard. Yes, they're challenging. Are we stressed? Yes. Are we afraid? Probably. Are we unsure? Yes. Do we wonder when this will end? Absolutely. Do we wonder what it will look like on the other side? For sure. But you've already survived so much as a parent. You've already figured out so much as a parent. So that is my big gift to you today. Perhaps this is where people can come together and instead of prejudice, realize our strengths. Absolutely. This virus is forcing us to come to separate physically, but paradoxically, it's also bringing us together. I've seen more cooperation in the US government over the past week than I've seen, I don't know, maybe ever. I don't ever remember a time where Democrats and Republicans truly worked together towards a common goal without making politics the primary thing of calling out the other side or undermining the other side. Both sides do it. It's been despicable and deplorable to me. But they're coming together. These once bitter enemies are coming together to work towards a common goal to help the people. Beautiful. And if we as parents can be forgiving and understanding and compassionate with ourselves and with other parents, it'll be the most beautiful thing to come of this whole experience. And what we folk can contribute to others, as in strategies like online shopping, for us are already a routine lifeline. Yes, you parents of special or extra needs kids already have figured out some tips and techniques and strategies to navigate the world, especially at a time like this. So yeah, you guys have tremendous skills that you can share with the rest of us to support us. It's amazing. I'm seeing that from homeschooling parents too. Suddenly, parents of homeschoolers, parents who choose to homeschool their kids, may have previously been judged or looked down upon. Now suddenly everybody's looking to them as leaders. What kind of resources do you have? How do you keep your kids on a schedule? How do you help them to learn? What are the interesting things that they can be doing while they're at home? So it's really turning everything upside down, but it's taking all the judgment that people have had towards other people and just throwing it out the window. Like, now we're turning to people we never would have thought. Additionally, I was talking with someone a couple days ago and talking about grocery store workers. Grocery store workers may have previously, maybe they're minimum wage workers, may have previously felt like their job was kind of not all that important, or maybe people would have looked at a grocery store clerk as not that important of a job. Suddenly, I think grocery store clerks and healthcare workers are at the top of the pyramid right now. They are the most essential people in our world. People who provide food to us and people who take care of our health. There's nothing more important. So forget about the professional athletes and the movie stars and all that. The people who we really need to get through this are the grocery store workers and the healthcare workers. So amen to them. There was a very mixed response to Trump's naming of the virus as Chinese, I bet. I've never had the courage of finance to do homeschooling, but yes, they have very much to offer, and yes, they're judged too as hippie crazy. Yes. I wish he wouldn't have called it a Chinese virus because that has nothing to do with it. It is a virus that is attacking the human race. So it has nothing to do with where it came from. It has nothing. This virus, here's an interesting thing I realized when I was on my walk yesterday with my dog. This virus is actually, now it's going to sound weird when I say it, but hear me out. This virus is the role model for how we should behave. Sounds a little strange, right? Until you think deeper about it. This virus knows no race. It knows no nationality. It knows no culture. It knows no gender. It knows no age. This virus could care less if you're black, white, or purple, if you're male or female, old or young, although it does seem to wreak havoc on the older and ill, vulnerable among us. But in general, it sees everybody as equal. So in an odd way, we can learn from the virus. If we could see everyone as equal, which we all are, every human is equal to everyone else. If we could see that and understand that, my goodness, what a different world we would live in. So I wish that our president would have just referred to it as a virus that's attacking the human race, because that's actually what it is. I have a son too. He was quite shocked. His natural innocent reaction of really shop workers or key workers just reflects societal prejudice about who is valued. Absolutely. And really, who's more valuable? A gas station worker, a mathematician, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a stay-at-home parent, a financial expert, a singer, an athlete? Who's more valuable? Each one is valuable in their own unique way. And each one of our children is valuable in their own unique way. Each one of us is valuable in our own unique way. So if we can really take this chance to just flatten like we're talking about flattening the curve, right, of this virus, can we just flatten everything so that we all see each other as just as valuable as we are? Some of us may need to raise our estimation of our value because some people don't value themselves, but everybody's on the same footing now. Everyone's the same. Everyone's on lockdown in some version or other. Everyone's lives are turned upside down. Everyone's living through a shared experience right now. We're all equal, and we always have been. That's the point. We always have been, and now we're seeing it. We've got this horrific virus that's giving us this beautiful gift to realize that we all are equal and we've never been anything other. And that's a big lesson we can take out of this. And you say, yes, it should not be labeled as Chinese. I agree with you. It's just ridiculous, as everyone praised him for calling a spade, but no reflection on how this could fuel racial issues. There was lots of discussion here, just among different authors, bloggers, news outlets about how unhelpful that was to call that. And I don't know. I don't even know what to say about the president. There are times when he's stepping up and doing the right thing, and there are times when he's still bumbling through his words. But the one thing I will say is I thought about, I'm not a huge fan of most things that he does. And I try to say that as gently as I can, because I don't like to speak in extremes. But I imagined I read a thing where he talked about I can't remember the drug, Q something or other, but it was showing great promise. And then suddenly 3 people in Africa yesterday overdosed on that drug because they heard that he said it was showing promise and they decided to take it, and now they're dead. And I thought about what it must be like if I were the president and I was trying to, and I'm not trying to imply what he did or didn't, what his intentions were or whatever, but if I was standing at the podium and I was saying, there's these 2 drugs that we're looking at that are showing great promise, if I was trying to offer some hope to the viewers and to the American public, and then I found out the next day that 3 people died because they overdosed on the drug that I mentioned, the stress that would be, like the weight that my words that I'm trying to offer for what, to be helpful, end up in people overdosing and dying. I couldn't even imagine the stress. So the stress of being in such a position right now at this time, any leader of any country, from the president or the prime minister to, at least in our country, it's called the governor of each state, the mayor of each town. I would not want to be a leader in a governmental position right now because it's a tremendous responsibility. And so my heart go out to them, my hat goes off to them, and I just keep hoping that they're making the best decisions they're possibly capable of, and being careful about their language, because even a sentence like that could have dire consequences. So yes, I don't envy President Trump or anyone in a position of leadership. Other journalists raising this question, we're wasting time. Others saying journalists raising this question, we're wasting time. Well, wasting time, that's the other thing about time. We have plenty of time right now to just think, evaluate, ponder. We have a precious gift of time right now. So I don't think anybody talking about anything right now is wasting time. That's my own personal opinion. We also have to realize that leaders are not perfect and cut a bit of slack for personalities. Am I Christian? I was raised Catholic, and I switched to the Episcopal Church, and as a young adult, and most recently, I actually do not practice any specific religion. I am a very spiritual person, and I believe in a divine organizing power to this universe. And I believe that we all, those of us who believe that there's a higher power, it's perfectly okay for us each to see that higher power how we want. God, Buddha, Allah, whatever. This woman named Annie years ago said, "There are many ways up the mountain." And I love that phrase because I really do believe that there are many ways up the mountain. We're all leading each other home, right? And so any path that we take up that mountain is great. If it works for us, it's great. No one else has to take the same path. They could take a different path, but we could be standing next to each other heading to the same place. So that's where I stand. Most people believe in something, and that's important right now. Yes. If I didn't believe in some kind of organizing power, I don't know where I would stand in this pandemic. I think it would be very unsettling and very frightening. So I feel for people who don't have any belief in anything, any organizing power right now, because it's got to be really, really extra scary for them. So, what an interesting conversation we've had. Thank you so much, Miss Turnant, for tuning in today, because I had none of this on my agenda to speak about, but it's been a really lovely conversation, and I hope that I've been able to give you some support during this challenging time, and I hope that I've been able to remind you just how strong and resilient you are. And when everyone else listens to this recording, I hope they too will realize they can get through this. We can all get through it. We're going to do it together. We're strong, we're tough, and we've got this. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you will be able to join me tomorrow at the same time. And if not, it'll be recorded on my YouTube channel for you to get as well. All right, thank you. Make it a great rest of the day.